Action!
Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Svetlana and today we'll have a little laid back video. I'm not sure how little that's going to be because I have 5 different plants I want to prop slash repot. Only one prop, the rest repot. And it's gonna be a bunch of different ones. As you can tell, I have beautiful variegate peperomia, I have pilea, I have couple horse, and I have huernia. So it's gonna be a little mix. And also I did ask questions. No, I did ask you to ask me questions on my community tab on YouTube, on my Instagram, and I'm not sure if I did this on my Facebook. We'll see if I will run out of questions, then we'll go into the Facebook and check it out. But right now I wanna go ahead and just start reporting with you because we have a lot going on. It's my lunch break actually, it's been forever since I filmed on my lunch break, so at the same time I feel a little bit in a rush, but I'll chillax a little bit. I have soil prepared, I have questions right over here, so we'll go straight into the business. I think we'll start by cutting this huernia in pieces. And then, well, I will be... Oh, where are my scissors? The plan is to cut it. Actually, most ideal would be for me to cut it yesterday and let it callus / dry out for those cuttings for 24 hours, but we don't have that time right now. So I'll do it in the beginning of the video and then I will put it up in the end of the video, so by that time I feel like they'll be a little bit dried out. Today is actually a pretty hot day and this should work out. Where the flippin' scissors went? Yes. How much is yours?
Жиркость что идет?
Oh. Well, that makes sense. Thank you. Of course this. Of course this. Actually, tomorrow is my grandma's birthday, so stay tuned for little vlogish styled video because not only we'll go visit her and hopefully film a little bit of that birthday, also tomorrow we will have like a fall festival in the countryside in that little town that my grandma lives in, so that should be a lot of fun because I feel like this is more authentic Lithuanian kind of festival, and a lot of you asked me to share a little bit more about my culture since I live in Lithuania. Hi, if you're new and have no idea, I do live in Lithuania in Eastern Europe. This should be a lot of fun, so leave any kind of autumnal emojis if you're flipping excited for this kind of content. But right now, let's jump into the bees. So I have 3 cuttings of this beautiful huernia. Yeah, one like this. I'm not sure if I want to cut this one. I think this one I will leave be as it is, and this one, since it's so long, this one will propagate. Okay, so we're doing that. Oh, of course, let's not forget the questions. Yeah, this one I think will do as it is. Yeah. Okay, so I do have your questions right over here. Growing Attitude Paula, love your nickname, asking what nutrient and additives cocktail do you feed water plants with? Do you test and adjust pH? I so love your channel and your fun, authentic personality. Thank you so much. No. The answer is no, I don't go crazy. I'm a pretty busy lady in my life. I have so much work stuff going on, so in weekends I feel always, so out of breath lately, to be honest with you. And I don't want to go ahead and just do that freaky stuff. I mean, for those who are doing, kudos for you. I'm cutting this one in half. Kudos, and this one I'll leave as it is. So I cannot speak and do stuff. I'm so bad at multitasking. When people say that ladies are good at multitasking, I'm not going into that category. Anyway, so no, I do not play around with pHs and different nutrients. I have 1 package of Schultz fertilizer, and honestly, it's working great for me. I'm using this on all of my plants. By the way, okay. Have you seen this flipping cute mug I just got? It's a spooky ghost. I call him Steve. It's actually perfect for repotting because I just can cover it and no soil will come inside. Flipping genius. Anyway, so Schultz fertilizer I've been using from the very early beginning of my plant journey, and honestly the first box/package that I had I actually used for 3 or 4 years, and it felt like forever and it felt great, and I just rebought a new one and been using it on all of my plants. And yes, I do have a lot of different plants, very different varieties, as you can tell probably from my background or from my other videos. I heard somewhere like years and years ago that Orchid fertilizer actually works great for all of your plants, and that's what I've been doing. And honestly, it's been saving me so much money and migraine, I feel like, because I don't need to go ahead and play around with different kind of fertilizers, watering different kind of plants. Just make one mix, go through my whole collection, and just call it a day. And honestly, feeling very proud about this choice. Okay. You know what, let's start probably with the easy one, and let's go with this peperomia. Okay, Wendy P is asking, good morning, curious if you ever checked plants pH levels. Love from Canada. Hi Wendy, thank you for the love. Love going right back at you. And now, is it a thing right now? Am I missing out something? Did people start to check on that? Because I didn't hear much about it. I mean, I keep on watching plenty YouTubers, but maybe some of them mentioned that, but like, do you need to? Oh my gosh, my plants are thriving as they are, so why to go an extra mile and make your life tough once again? I'm such a lazy plant owner, guys, so sometimes it might be a little bit surprising for people to see a little bit more perky plants in my collection, because I'm not that kind of girl that, you know, is helicoptering around her plants. Even though I was like 4 and 5 years ago, I would check if my plants need to be watered like every day, but at that time my collection was way smaller, and right now I'm like, who am I trying to get? Will I go and helicopter my plants, or will I go and watch a flipping TV show with my husband? You all know the answer. So right now I'm actually gonna be repotting this beautiful peperomia Buenos Aires, and guys, look at this. Last time I showed you this thing was out of focus, I believe, so right now just take in that beauty. It's been in my home for almost a week and it's still looking great, so I'll take it as a flipping win. I was a bit scared to take... Gosh, what okay, we just trashed it accidentally. Honestly, I was a bit... just a little root ball fell off. I was a bit skeptic while taking this plant / swapping for it, but the colors on it just bought my heart, and I just, you know, was like, you know what, fluff it, we're doing it, we're going a little bit crazy, let's see what happens. So I guess we'll see what happens. Oh, and I feel like this pot will work flippin' wonderful with this. Where's the front? With this plant, because the colors all around this thing are just gorgeous, or just very gorgeous. What? Let's pop in. Oh, okay. While we're filling up the soil, moving on. James asking, does Agnes have a favorite plant for your collection? Yes, actually. I mean, technically he is not a big fan of this whole thing, but also since I've been in this like hobby for years now, like, oh my gosh, 7 years, maybe 8 years at this point, he just got over it. And honestly, from time to time we do chat about plants, and he always says that he loves the plants in my collection that are on the larger side. So for example, my Thai constellation or my Strelitzia Nicolai, he loves jungly vibes, big leaves, and those are technically kind of one of his favorites. He also says he loves my alocasias because they do remind him a bit of aliens and dragons, and he wish the leaves were a little bit larger, but you know, I'm not a magician. Cannot grow my alocasias this big without, you know, all those extra steps. So yeah, I guess that's the answer. James. Thanks for watching, by the way. James is one of those subscribers who comment under every flipping single one of my videos, and always brings a smile on my face, because it always feels like, you know, whenever you feel down and you just look at the room and look for a friend, and I feel like James is always sitting there like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, girl. Anyway, moving on. Before that, isn't that flippin' gorgeous? Isn't that a beautiful combination? Just tell me it isn't and I won't believe you, so just save your breath. Okay, plant number 1 accomplished. Right now, let's move on. Probably since we're on this side, let's just finish these plants and go to that side. And here I have beautiful Pilea that I'm not sure how we'll be able to grow. Maybe this year it's gonna be a flippin' epic win, and this is gonna be my first peperomia that I first poilia that I won't kill in like a couple months. Stay tuned for that, nobody knows. And let's go to the questions. So, okay, it took me a second. The nickname so much Paprika. First I was like, wait, what is your currently favorite song? Okay, this is kind of a topic that I was kind of afraid to speak about. I mean, my whole life I was kind of, always afraid to speak about my taste in music because I felt like it was always a bit different, Was you that kind of kid in the school? Let me know. But honestly, I don't know what happened, but for the last couple years I just stopped listening to music, and I know that might be a bit controversial, like what the heck, but at the same time I just feel like I don't have time to listen to music, to be honest with you. I mean, when I have a free minute, I rather just put on a podcast and listen to that, Right now, actually, I just found a cool podcast called Ghosties. Oh my gosh, 2 ladies and their 2 sisters are just talking about spooky stuff, spooky legends, spooky stories. And the fun part about this podcast that both of them are afraid of the things they're talking about. So I just can relate so much to them, whenever they're talking about something spooky and just having shivers through their back. So if you're looking for something spooky but not scary, I really highly recommend those girls. I actually found them like a week or so ago, and I've been watching them ever since, like every single day, and people are raving about them because when I found them they had about 4,000 subscribers, and right now they're almost at 18,000. So it's so cool to see them grow so fast, like popping up out there. Those girls doing some awesome stuff. I cannot wait. I mean, I'm not sure if that will ever happen, to be honest with you, but I wonder if there will be a day when my channel will start popping up. That would be... I have no idea what kind of feeling that is, honestly, because my channel always have been such a slow grower. Anywho, I'm out of topic, so... Favorite song? Wow, how did we get there? If that is not like a perfect example how my brain is working, so just give me one topic and in 2 minutes I will be like 300 miles away from it. Anyway, favorite song. So if I would need to choose, actually lately with my husband started to listen to Lithuanian creators and songwriters, which is something we didn't used to do because we were more like into Linkin Park and like Imagine Dragons and 30 Seconds to Mars. By the way, we're going to the concert of 13 Seconds to Mars next month. I'm so excited. At the same time, it was a surprise gift from my husband for Christmas, maybe?
Well, husband, Santa Claus.
Oh, that's right, from Santa Claus. So yes, for Christmas. So I did not plan to do so because I know lately there have been some allegations to this guy, but at the same time I do love his music, so this will be definitely a good time. But also we've been listening to Lithuanians like Jessica Shai. I love a lot of her songs, or Gian, if you're looking for new creators that you would love to listen to. Look them up, they're actually fun. Let me know if you're curious. I will leave in the comment a couple links to their songs just to give you a little bit of the vibes, But they're fun, they're lots of fun. But one singular song to choose, it's like I don't have it. I don't listen to music often, so whenever I do is only when I'm in the car with my husband going somewhere. But for me to turn on the music is probably only when it's some kind of holiday, so like birthday or something. This is probably so weird because there are so many people who are just living for the music, like Swift is going crazy whenever the new album come out and stuff like that, and I just cannot relate, and I feel really odd in this time of of Earth's existence, because this seems like such a thing. We just be freaking out about new albums and stuff like that, and I will always like, Spotify? I don't even have it, so here you are, I guess. Did I answer your question? I'm not sure. I love your nickname, so much paprika. Okay, this is a long one. Let's put it right here. Oh, so gorgeous. So Natasha is asking, hi Svetlana, do you ever get bored with your old original common plants? These always new varieties coming out on the market all the time. Just wanted to know if you have reached that medium ground where you stayed in love with some first plants you had. Honestly, I've always been that 50-50 kind of girl. I never was like, oh, I need only the rarest plants in my collection. I don't care about the common plants. I mean, if you will take a closer look in my background, you will see I have a bunch of very common plants, very simple ones. I have a bunch of spider plants. I have some simple palms, Hoya carnosa splash, like one of the most casual Hoyas. I have, what else do we have? I have stapelias, very simple, very casual. I have like hibiscus roses and stuff like that. So yes, I do love common plants like a lot, especially for spaces like my kitchen and my living room, because in those spaces I do not have great lighting, especially during the upcoming season, the dark season. Fun fact, Lithuania is actually so up north during the winter. For example, in January, I think max we get 7 hours of sunlight per month. Per month. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. So you can bet I do not have like growing lights all around my home. My husband would send me to like hospital or something, like to the psychic center or something, because that'd be wild. So yeah, yes, I do love different plants, very different plants. I mean, me saying this while reporting beautiful variegated peperomia and also a simple pilea that our grandmas used to have. So if that isn't the proof. Moving on, Liz is asking, hi Svetlana, what's your favorite genus of plant and why do you prefer pond to soil or vice versa? Thanks. Favorite plant genus, honestly, cacti. Yeah, definitely cacti. I always been a cacti girl, and yes, like for the last couple of years I've been kind of going back and forth with them, but at the same time, whenever I go to the plant store and for example if I will see like a section of aroids and cacti, you can bet first I'll go to the cacti section and then I'll check the aroids, because I'm always looking for some cool, like, I want to say asteroids. Astrophytums. Asteroids. Yeah, pretty close. Probably that. And then the second would be probably Hoyas, and then I love humongous monsters, so all of my monsters. And do I prefer soil? Honestly, we've been chatting about this in the plant swap with Bruno as well, and we were having a little bit of a laugh because like a couple years ago all of the plant YouTubers used to rave about pond and how great it is to their plants and how everybody should be growing plants in pond. But then, like in the last couple months, people just started to go back to soil, and right now the like tree fern fiber is a new like big thing and stuff like that. So honestly, I tend to not go into trends too much. It took me a couple years to jump on the pond train, and right now I only have plants in pond, which is my Monstera constellation, and couple Hoyas, couple Alocasias, and that's it. Most of my plants are still in soil, and honestly, I cannot see me going back or more into pond. It's way easier for me to take care of. Yes, if I do need to see roots, pond is a little bit more helpful, but also you just plant your plants in a see-through pot and you will see roots in the soil as well. So, hope that answers your question. I feel like I'm mumbling so much and saying nothing. Hello Front, awesome nickname. It's asking, have you ever seen a ghost? Lol, since you love spooky season. I do have 2 encounters. None of them were visual, only like... Okay, let me tell you a couple stories right now. So, when my grandma, my first grandma passed away, we were actually having... Gosh, I'm not sure about the phrasing, like how do you call the thing when you don't go to the... I mean, her casket was in her home. So the whole thing like was happening in my grandma's home, which was so flippin' spooky because I just cannot look into that home the same ever since. It was like very traumatic for me because my grandma passed away when I was 12. And since then, I just am so scared to sleep in that house and all of that, but that's a different story. I mean, this used to be very common for people, you know, to have their loved ones in their home for their last trip, should I say it? Anyway, So we had a lot of family, you know, gathering around and saying goodbyes to my grandma. And I do remember just minutes before taking her casket, gosh, how do we do this? Taking her casket, you know, and, you know, having this whole ride to the cemetery. Most of us were standing outside the kitchen next to the window and chatting, you know, who is going to sit in what car and stuff like that. And I do remember so perfectly when the weirdest thing happened. Everybody heard it, like everybody, my mom, my uncle, my mom's brother, we all heard this. Oh my gosh, I feel like a freak just talking about it, because I mean, I wasn't the only one who heard it. But next to the window we have a sink, and above the sink we had this cabinet filled with dishes. And for some flipping reason, in that very moment, all of the dishes like started to wobble so quickly, and this sound was happening, like, you know, almost like the dishes were like beating against each other for like good 10 seconds, and then it stopped. So not sure what happened. Might be, I mean, we do not get earthquakes here in Lithuania, so this is definitely not the thing. But also gravity, maybe. I don't know. So this cabinet was just shaking. So this was the first time when I started to get thoughts about ghosts and possible, you know, encounters. And then another thing was actually my sister's encounter. I remember when we first came to live in Vilnius, where my mom and sister keeps on living right now in this apartment. The very first night that we actually stayed in that new apartment, we lived in separate rooms, and both of us had like glass windows, but that glass was kind of wrinkly and you cannot see like perfectly through it. It's yellow and it's like has a texture in it, right? And I do remember my sister screaming because she saw a dark man figure through the window of her doors. But like when she screamed and we all came up, we did not see anything. So it's technically her experience, but she did see it a couple times, and later on it never showed up again. So I'm not sure what the heck was about that, but once again, does it put some questions in your head? Yeah. Like, who the heck was that man standing in front of her door? I don't know, maybe she was dreaming, but also my sister never dreams. I mean, she sleeps, but she never dreams. I do remember from the early like years of my life with her, I'm 5 years older than she is, I would always talk about my dreams and she would always be sad because she doesn't get them. So yeah, these were a couple of those accidents, nothing too crazy or like very traumatic, but at the same time questionable, definitely questionable. And also my aunt is actually into some spooky witchy vibes. Every single weekend my aunt would take me to her home because she doesn't have husband or children, and we would spend time in her home, you know, and do some magic stuff like playing with tarot cards, you know, with a cup of tea. Nothing too crazy, but also very spooky and very vibey. She lived next to the graveyard, and it always would be such a vibe, you know, such a witchy vibe. So that's probably why it feels so familiar for me and very close for me, because it's my favorite aunt. We spend so much good time with her. She also would love to take me to the cemeteries, and she's actually one of those local town ladies that knows everything about everyone. So she would tell me all of those stories, how people died, you know, would come to one of the gravestones and she would say, oh, this is like Steve who passed away. Or for example, this one got in a car crash and, you know, his wife is very sad about it and he has 2 kids and stuff like that. So it always would mesmerize me how much of those stories she knew, and it almost felt like we just go hang out with the ghosts, you know, in the evenings, chatting about their stories and remembering them. So probably she was the one who introduced me to this whole kind of thing, and just like I said, it felt very familiar for me. And I just love everything about it. The aesthetics. I hate spooky stuff. I mean, I'm such a scary pants. If I would need to stay at home alone during the night, I'm just flipping out. So no, technically I haven't seen one in person, any ghost, but I did hear a lot of stories. Also, in my grandma's house, for example, also during the weekends we would watch, this is such a Russian thing, but there is this TV show called Battles of the Extrasens. and there would be so many spooky stories and tests for the extra sense and such a vibe. If you haven't checked it out, I mean, if you're Russian or, you know, probably even Lithuanian, you know what the heck I'm talking about. But those TV shows, oh my gosh, once again, after that I would be such a scared pants, and it would be always so tough for me to go to sleep because everything seems so, I mean, it's very easy to convince me of something, so anywho, moving on. Took me a long time to answer that one, sorry. Okay, Sophia asking, how are your rescue plans doing? I like to see them before and now. Okay, I do get those requests, you know, to show the rescue plans before and after, and I still do have a bunch of them, obviously. I need to sit down and make this video. At the same time, it feels like it's gonna be so much work to do it, but I also want to do it myself because I always love those kind of videos, you know, with the pictures before and after, so I need to remind myself to do it sooner or later. Okay, how do we... Problem with this trellis that we have right now, the round one, right? It used to pop into the pot. If you can see those tiny holes on the edges, this is where it used to pop. And right now it's just simply in the soil and it's not stable, so we do need a little bit of help. We have this little stick standing here without a work, so maybe that will do. Let's check it out. Bam. Okay, that will work now. Great. Jennifer is asking, one thing I always want to see is the view opposite your plant wall. Can you please show us that? Also, how do you speak English so well? And how did you meet your hubby? Thank you. Okay, we're gonna sit in here for a long time right now. Okay, so first off, the view in front of me is actually a window. So a windowsill and a window, and in front of that is a balcony. I will make sure to maybe right now make a picture or something to insert so you can see it as I'm speaking. Okay, we need tape. We need tape. Hold on, guys. We have tape. It's a very small space. Next question was, how do you speak English so well? I don't know. Lots of sweat and practice, to be honest. The best thing that helped from, I mean, I did started to learn English in 4th grade in school, but you know, I never was great at it because it's a tough language. So, you know, I never used it in my daily life, so at that time I was never great at it for obvious reasons, right? But then I moved out of my home and started to live with my fiance. Oh, mealybugs, little bastards. So when I graduated from school and went on the biggest adventure of my life, to be honest, to live with my then 1-year boyfriend and his family, that's when I started to speak more English, because we were living in United Kingdom at that time, in Newark, close to Nottinghamshire, and that's when my English blossomed. You can call it that way, because I was, for some reason, everybody thought that I am the best at speaking English in that whole family, so whenever we need to go to the doctors or to the bank appointments and stuff like that, I would always be the one speaking. And you know, either you want it or not, you need to start to be good at it, because otherwise your family won't be able to go to doctors and stuff like that. So I guess that was a big kick into my butt to learn more, and the biggest, I think, help was to start watching movies and TV show in English, because with subtitles, that is the time when I feel like my English got best, because I kept on seeing it used in daily life. I started to watch YouTube videos only in English, and you know, year by year, just, I guess, started to be better. I guess that explains it, right? I think the best help was actually having this YouTube channel, because this is when I actually started to speak once again even more, because I came back to live in Lithuania and I haven't been using English that often as I did when I lived in United Kingdom. So starting to talk more often about it again just was another push, you know? Okay, this looks way better. Actually, right now I will need to go ahead and give a close look for this plant specifically because I found mealy on this one, so that would be a shame if something would happen. Anywho, the last question was how I met my husband, and I actually have a full-on story in one of my Q&A videos, so if you're very curious about all the details, just look for one of my Repot with me Q&As. But long story short, I actually came into his birthday. So one of his friends, I was 17 at that time. It was the first time my parents ever let me go to celebrate New Year's somewhere not around them, you know, so all alone with friends. And that was like the biggest milestone of my life. And I went to my classmate at that time home, you know, to have this party throughout the night. And at that time I met this guy called Kaziz. And you know, we got along, we were having such a good time, and at the end of the party he decided to invite me to his friend's birthday party. And that's when, you know, I was like, oh, fluff it. I was, you know, freshly cooked teenager, and I was like, let's flipping do this. I'm so down to adventures and, you know, what could go wrong and stuff like that. So I decided to go, and then a couple days were left till the party. I already bought the outfit for myself. I was so excited, and I think 2 days were left till the party, and he called me and said he won't be able to come, so I still can go ahead and come to that party. At the same time, I did not know anyone at that party except a lady from the New Year's Eve party that I met for the first time and only saw once, just like this dude, right? So long story long, he wasn't going to come, and I still went, and that was actually my husband's birthday party. So we met, we got along. Actually, in that party, all of his friends were trying to make me dance with another friend and, you know, hang out and stuff like that, and I always said no, I want to dance with Agnes. And the rest is the history. So we met at the party. I came, and as my husband likes to joke, I came in there and never left. So, okay, Divine Foliage is asking how many plants are in your collection. Honestly, I have no flipping clue. No flipping clue. Just for funsies, maybe after filming this video, I will go ahead, take a look, count, and leave the number on the screen. But right now, let's guess. Let's take a little guess. I would say like 150, maybe. Actually downsized my collection for the last like couple months, so I feel pretty good about the numbers. So I don't think it's gonna be over 200, but we'll see. We'll see, I guess. You are already seeing the numbers, so there you are. There you go. Does your husband ever have a problem with all your plants? Yes. I think at the beginning of this whole thing, especially at the beginning of my YouTube channel, you know, I think all of the plant collectors slash hobbyists go through that phase in their life when they just need all of the plants they can, you know, put their hands on. So it doesn't matter what kind of variety it is. If you don't have it in your collection, you need it, you know, that kind of phase. So I think like 5-ish years ago, at the very beginning of this channel, I was in that phase, and I was just buying every single plant I hadn't owned. And at the same time, it was great but also bad because I killed so many plants. But also right now, when I think about it, this was like the best way for me to find out what kind of plants I can keep alive and what kind of plants are not for me. So I guess this was just a part of that process. But yeah, I think that at that time my husband wasn't happy about me, because whenever I would go outside the door of our apartment, I would come back with plants. Doesn't matter if I walk the dog, I flipping would rescue a plant. If I would go grocery shopping, I still would come back with a plant. So that's when we had. But right now, once again, since I did downsize a lot, and you know, I'm a little bit more mindful about buying plants. And he knows how much plants mean to me. It's like, you know, my therapy. At the same time, I do enjoy just having this hobby and putting my like artsy spirit and my artsy hands into something, like making some artsy projects. And this is just something that is a big part of my personality at this point. Right now, I mean, I've been having this channel for years, and I it's just a part of me, and I guess he just grew to love it as well right now. Especially when I just don't put too much plants in other rooms and just keep all of this craziness to this to this area. As long as I do that, it's okay with him. I'll go ahead and look for a little stick. Okay, moving on. So I actually didn't show you this Hoya close, so after potting this one, I'll show you that one. Dawn's Flora Aura asking, do you have plans of making merch? I would totally buy some if so. I actually did have these kind of plans. I already started not only with my drawing board, but I also already made one shirt and like wear it in some of my videos, and some of you noticed it. But I'm not sure if more people would like that, you know. It wouldn't be very smart of me to make some kind of merch and sell like 3 t-shirts. That would be such a big like investment, and yeah, that'd be sad. So let me know, guys, if you would be interested, and we will see, like, leave a comment yes for merch, and we will see how many of people will like that comment, and from there we can move on, because I do have lots of plans for that kind of thing, and I would love to have my merch. I mean, that would be a dream, especially seeing some other people wearing it, not only myself. That would be wild. As you can tell, I'm very using simple branch right now as a trellis for this Hoya, because I'm definitely not gonna go ahead an extra mile, use a moss pole or stuff like that. Oh, I'm so over moss poles, guys. I do have 3 of them, and that's more than enough for me. It's already too much. Okay, moving on. Divine Foliage asking, have you considered doing a plant tour? And yes and no. Because I'll be honest, since we're living in such an old apartment, I always don't feel very comfortable of showing you around. You know, for example, I do have this space that I show you all the time, but if you look the other way, I have, you know, very old radiators over here, and you know, in some of my rooms I have wooden windows that are very old, and you know, I'm not sure. Let me know how much of you would care about such a thing, because I know people are curious about the living situations, but at the same time, I don't know, I don't feel very comfortable about it. I want to leave this video idea before I will move into my home, because right now we're saving for our own space, and hopefully then I'll film more, but who knows. I actually have at least 2 or 3 plant tour videos where I was, you know, going a little bit crazy and showed you around all of my home, showed around my plants and stuff like that. So if you're very curious about my living space, you can go ahead and watch one of those. About new ones, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, guys. The Chlorophyll Cafe asking, what's the last thing you painted? Actually, I just painted a pot a couple days ago, and this is for my friend Gerda. Actually have it right here, I'm not sure if you've seen it. Look at it. So she actually, I'm not sure how you call those people, but she's like that professional girl who is playing with fire. You know, that making the show when the fireball is on the string and she's like going crazy all around her. So I thought, well, it would be fun for me to paint a pot for her with herself on it. So this is what I did actually. I'm not sure if she will love it. I haven't showed it to her yet, so Gerda, if you're watching, oh my gosh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous to show it, but hopefully you will love it. So this is like the last thing I painted on a pot, but if for example simply drawing on my like bullet journals, let's see, a tomato for my tomato salad recipe, or what we have, or a chocolate bar for my chocolate cake recipe. I mean, lately I've been really into baking, so I've been just, you know, putting recipes in my book and adding some illustrations for them, I guess. I mean, I just made, for guys it might be a little bit too much information, like have different stuff, like this. Okay, we'll stop. Casey is asking, I'm also curious about the rest of your living space. Oh, another comment about the rest of my living space. I love seeing the differences between cultures. So yeah, Casey, if you wanna see, you can go ahead and watch some of my older YouTube videos. Honestly, not much have changed, because once again, since we're saving up for a new home / apartment or house, I'm not sure, we don't do much in this space because this is actually not our apartment, so you know how the things are. Look at this Hoya latifolia, guys. Very cute plant. I'll go ahead and water all of these plants after finishing this video. I feel like this should be a happy plant in this pot. Also, haven't showed you this little thing. So this is how we're looking right now. I feel like this is so beautiful. The blooms on this thing were so beautiful, and honestly I definitely need to water it because lots of those leaves look very dry, so yeah, we need to work on that. Okay, we have last plant to pot. Also, did I show you the end result? Look at this. I feel like this is such a perfect combination because this is actually my grandma's terracotta pot. Very vintage, very old, just like my grandma. So I feel like this is perfect, especially with this kind of common plant that our grandmas used to have. So this is like a whole combination of that, you know, timeline, I feel like. Okay, we have last plant to plant, to pour up, and that are my beautiful Huernias. Love them. Pretty Foliage is asking, I just love all your content and your vlogs. Oh, it's not a question. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I said if you're asking. I guess it was a flippin' fact. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sophia is asking, of course, I'm curious how are you enjoying the wife stats? Oh, I love it. I feel so official finally. I've been with my husband right now, but I've been with him since I was 17, and right now I am actually 29. So to finally get married after almost 12 years felt like a flippin' no. Really? While reporting the last plant, that's when I need to make a mess, of course. So right now, finally, after years and years of, you know, just being together and, you know, of course being happily together, but finally to be married and official, it feels so weird. Also, we so got used to call each other fiancés because we've been engaged for 4 or 5 years. So we got engaged just before the COVID, so yeah, it's a big deal for us. So I feel flippin' fantastic. I feel very official, very official. Okay. C. Martinez is asking, so you think you would ever get a kitten? Yes. Yes, this is one of my secret dreams. Actually, I'm slowly turning my husband on the kitty side because actually for whole of my life I was dreaming about a cat, not a dog. I was always a cat person because my mom used to be a cat person. My sister, I mean, she is a cat person. My sister is a cat person, and I would always be surrounded by, you know, cat persons, and I would be like so into that. I mean, I love cats. I mean, the good ones, not the jerk ones, like the ones that my mom have right now. Fun fact, the cat that my mom have actually is rescued by me while I was working with my husband. I mean, we were just going through the neighborhoods and leaving flyers on cars. Something, once again, very casual. But at one of those days while working, I noticed this little kitty crying near the cars, and we were looking for the owners. I was looking for maybe a cat mama because he was so small, but nobody turned out, so I just took him home. Posts on Facebook all around, asking maybe somebody is looking for this cat because I found it in the neighborhood, but nobody came back. So at the end I was planning to take this cat to the, how do you call it, shelter. Yeah, brain fart. So I wanted to take him to the shelter because at that time I was living with my parents, and my mom said she did not want that cats. I mean, I did try, don't get me wrong. I think throughout my childhood at least 2 or 3 times I came back home with a cat, but every single time my mom would send me through the doors with that cat and said to take it wherever I took it from, which was a bit traumatic, to be honest with you, especially seeing how right now she's crazy about that cat. But yeah, so that flippin' jerk who is hating me right now, because whenever when I come to visit my mom, he's just being such a jerk to me, that cat, because probably I stink with dogs. So yeah, I am kind of a cat lady, but I love those kind ones, those sweet ones who love cuddles, My husband's parents actually have a cat who is actually just an outdoors cat that started to come to their home because they started to feed them, and he's such a sweet little pie. Fun fact, they call him Carpet. No idea why. So that is the sweetest cat, and I miss him so dearly, you know, because I used to live with him, kind of. I mean, he would come and visit us. So yeah, I would love a cat. I want to rescue one. I also love Maine Coon cats, you know, those large, huge cats. Oh, they're such a... My husband actually really loved those as well. He says they look so wild and so, you know, so awesome, almost like dogs. Maybe that's why he loves them so much. But yes, that's probably a very long answer to a very simple question. I'm sorry. Story of my life. Repot is asking, hey Svetlana, how far do you commute to work? Okay, that's a random and easy question. Actually, it always takes a bus ride, and it takes about 30 minutes for me to go to work, and I spend the time reading. So maybe that's another reason why I don't listen to music lately, because instead of, you know, putting on my headphones, I choose to read a book. Very unpopular opinion, I guess. But I love it. I love it a lot. By the way, I'm reading right now The X-Hex, and oh my gosh, it's so good. If you haven't read it and you love, you know, witchy kind of books, but on the fun side, you know, easygoing, like rom-com, oh my gosh, it's so good. There are lots of British jokes, and it just takes me back, you know, it's such a good time, such a good book. Okay, we have 4 more questions, so maybe just let's fly through these. I love your videos so much, and it makes me want to visit Lithuania. I would love to see a bit of a tour of your living... Oh my gosh, everyone's asking for a tour. I would love to see a bit of a tour of your living space across from your plant area. Is the kitchen and living room space where you watch TV? Also, always smile when you forget and call your spouse your boyfriend, lol. I think I already explained that, why. Your English is fabulous too. Hugs all the way from Canada. Thank you. So we actually have separate living room and kitchen area. I also showed a little bit of my kitchen from in some of my cooking like episodes and stuff like that. So you can see that it's actually such an old kitchen. I think this is the only room that I would love to change so much, because I love to add some of my baking, like little clips when I do bake and stuff like that. But I also feel like I cannot just put my camera a bit more up because the walls are not in the best shape, and you know, we try to patch them up and stuff like that, but it just, there's a whole thing about it, right? And the living space, the living room is the room behind that wall over there, and it's the same size as this room. We actually separated this room by the closet, so behind me are 2 closets that we keep our wardrobe on, and behind that is our bed. So we do live in 2-room apartment, and this room we separated from the, you know, sleeping space, because at first, if you'll go back into my older videos, like, you know, 3-4 years old videos, you will see that I would film in the very same spot, but you will see all the way back to my room. You would see my bed and stuff like that, and my husband said he doesn't feel very comfortable about it, so we decided to make this like separation thing, and I think it was the best thing ever, because it's such a vibe. Such a vibe. Urash is asking, when do we get to see complete plant tour? Oh my gosh. Did you all agree to ask the same questions or what? I don't remember you have done it before. I did film plant tour twice, or maybe even 3 times. So if you'll insert into the YouTube search box Firefly in the room plant tour, you will see one. You'll find one. Pretty Foliage is asking, when you leave your apartment, will you be staying in the city? Honestly, I don't know. We actually have 3 very different plans. One of them is to go to the very, like, right now we're living in Vilnius, and this is like almost at the edge of the country. And we think, like, we would love to go live near the sea, which is like on the very other side of the country. So we would love that, but also, you know, it would be a big deal, a big move, because all of my family is on this side of the country. So we also would love to live in an apartment somewhere here in Vilnius, but it's very expensive, and I would also love to live in home. I mean, I am more on a house party, on the house side. My husband is more on apartment side, but also, since I already mentioned I'm such an easily spooked person, I feel like if I would live in a home, I would be freaking out every single day, you know, by the scratches outside and stuff like that. So it's just such a work in progress. We keep on saving money for the bank stuff and things like that. So it's still a work in progress. I have no idea what to do, guys, because there are so much things I want and at the same time so many things I'm afraid of. So it's just like a work in progress. Work in progress, guys. Oh, and that's it. Look at that, isn't that a flippin' perfect timing? I feel like once again my throat is a little bit tired, so I need to go ahead and make myself a tea. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. This was such a long video, I feel like, but I do hope you enjoyed it. It took me actually almost an hour to repot 5 plants. In normal day it would take me about 10 minutes. But you know, the things I do for you guys, I love to hang out. I love just to take you along on my brain farts and, you know, show a little bit more from myself. So let me know if you did enjoy this video. Let's chat about it in the comments. Like this video if you did enjoy it. Subscribe for more plenty content. And hopefully I'll see you in my next one. But before that, let me teach you a language lesson. Oh, actually, I noticed in one of my previous videos, one of you asked how to say grandma in other languages, and I think I already taught them. But since tomorrow I'm visiting my grandma, in honor of her, let me teach you how to say grandma. So if you want to say grandma in Lithuanian, you need to say močiutė. Once again, močiutė. And if you want to say grandma in Russian, you need to say babushka. Once again, babushka. I'm so sorry, lately I haven't been teaching you how to say things in Polish, but all of the words I chose, I couldn't remember how to say those things in Polish. Polish is actually my 4th language, so it's the one that I know the less of. So I do apologize about it. I know I have a lot of Polish viewers over here, so I don't forget about you. I really love you guys. Dziękuję bardzo for watching, but you know, sometimes the brain is not braining. But anywho, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and hopefully I'll see you in my next one. Bye!